YWC football talk. Danny and I are here. We were gonna come in and recap all of not all of week 5, but a good portion of it. But we got really have to change gears immediately as we both have Monday Night Football on our respective television sets. And the breaking news of the night is that John Gruden is out as the Las Vegas Raiders head coach. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, there was emails that came out where Gruden used racist, misogynistic, homophobic language directed at certain players, owners, DeMaurice Smith, etc. This is just a crazy developing situation that, like, Danny and I were just talking about off air. The NFL did the right thing here because if they kept him employed, it just looks like a black stain on the league.
Yeah, bro. Of course, this is going on with the Raiders. They never seem to get out of their own way. But you kind of expected this to come out when the original email was released. What was that, Saturday or something? Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, Friday or Saturday, one of the
Friday
two.
or Saturday. Okay, yeah. So you knew the pressure was coming down. Maybe he was able to get out of it, but like he probably shouldn't have. But tonight, yeah, that was the nail in the coffin tonight. And apparently there's more too. So we'll see if they come out.
I feel like too, but I got to pull up the post because obviously the first one came out, I believe, from the New York. It was either the New York Times or the New York Post. And there is a reporter who does sports media work. I don't know if you know him or not, Danny. Andrew Marchand.
No.
He works for the Post. He does media columns and stuff. And the point he had really good was he quote tweeted Adam Schefter about 10 minutes ago, and he said, "Uncovered implies the NFL didn't want these out there." It's like how I said the whole black stain on the league, and I kind of agree with him. I feel like the NFL knew about this. It's just one of those things. Once word leaks, it's like they have to cover their tracks to make their image look good.
Yeah, no, of course. And my thing is, if he's talking to Dan Snyder like this, he clearly feels comfortable enough to use this kind of language and shit. So how does Dan Snyder really like talk behind closed doors too? So they should definitely, uncover everything if they're gonna just uncover his part of this.
Yeah, Jesus. Between this and the Urban Meyer stuff, it just hasn't been the best week for NFL coaches. But you're right; they got like the Dan Snyder thing too has been another black stain on the league where it's just like, okay, what's going to come out of there? Because I feel like the NFL picks. This is the problem I feel like the NFL's had for years. They will pick and choose their battles to when it comes to certain things. Like, for example, I'm going to go to Patriots example, like the whole Spygate, Deflategate, how the tape. You can even read up on this too. The whole how the tapes were just apparently destroyed and everything, and nothing came out of that. And then there was the whole Deflategate stuff with Tom. But then you had stuff like even the Ray Rice stuff, how that was way too late. And then now you have this, which they're proacting on, which I feel like that's the always bad thing about the league. They pick and choose what battles they want to fight when it comes to the whole the stuff that causes a negative image on the league.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Raiders and the NFL haven't had the best relationship historically. So, like, again, it doesn't surprise me that it's happening to the Raiders. But there's other teams out here doing shit like this that you'll never hear about. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like you said, they pick and choose what battles they want to fight and what pipelines they want to go down.
Oh no, for sure. Like you got to imagine, like I wouldn't be shocked if language like this is used across like not every single owner or coach, but or every like all the time. But I wouldn't be shocked if there's like a history of like various owners, various coaches, GMs using language of that extent that you're right. We'll just never know about because it never gets out there. It's just once a reporter catches wind of this, they're gonna go to the league and say, "Look, we got this. We are not afraid to release this." And so the NFL has to kind of crumble. And then by getting rid of Gruden, the NFL looks like this. It makes the NFL look good in the sense of,
Oh,
look, we
absolutely.
had this problem, we squashed it. But you're right, though, because that's the one thing a lot of people got to remember is that Al Davis was the first real rogue owner in the league where he was like, no, fuck you. I'm going to do things my way.
Yep. So, I mean, what do there's not much to say, but, like if more emails come out and it looks even worse, good for the NFL for stepping in and letting him, he didn't get fired, have him resign his job and stuff like that. Obviously there's no place in that for the league and the locker room, stuff like that. No one's going to, he lost all credibility. But if stuff like this is out there and it's accessible and people know about it, like step forward, man. Don't pick and choose what you're going to release and what you're not going to release. I know it's blackballing in a sense, but let's be fair with it.
Exactly. And I feel like too, it'll be one of those things with him where either I can't see Gruden back with the Raiders, but it wouldn't shock me that if in a couple seasons, he's either back on TV in some capacity or he's like here doing this. Like let's take a good example, Michael Vick, who obviously went to jail for the dog fighting. He's an analyst on Fox now. So like for as much to as bad stuff like this happens, the NFL hasn't ever been afraid to give second chances out to certain people. And like I feel like Gruden will be back in some capacity in a few years. It's just for the next little while he's got to lay low and just not do anything. And now I'm not condoning that it's going to happen. I'm just saying, look, I wouldn't be shocked if you see this by like say the 2023 season.
I mean, personally, I can't see it happening. I don't, just the way in today's time and age, like it's going to be very hard to recover from something like this. But more shocking things have happened, so I just don't see it personally.
Yeah, and I mean too, he'll be getting a bag still for the next few seasons from the Raiders anyway. He's only
he's set for
18, 19, 20.
He's got generational wealth. He's good.
Yeah, he's got 4 seasons. He's still got $60 million that the Raiders got to pay him. So I feel like he'll be fine. I was just saying that in the sense like, no, I'm not here like trying to play good cop, bad cop with the whole situation. I'm just saying like, look, there's just parts of it. I do think, yeah, you're right. This is going to be a hard thing for him to clear his image up, but at the same time too, look, he's got generational wealth to where if he goes away and does nothing for the rest of his life, it's not like it's a huge concern for him.
I agree.
And this is something too, I'm going to say from a playing standpoint, man, this could derail their season because they got off to a good start, but then last week against they lost to the Chargers on Monday Night Football, and then yesterday had the upset against the Bears. The Bears beat them, so we'll see where this goes with the Raiders, who I believe play the Broncos this Sunday.
Yeah, no, I was texting with Mikkel actually just before we hopped on too, and I was like, yeah, man, I really don't see how you guys are gonna recover from this. Like, I did not buy into the Raiders at 3-0 at all. I tweeted that. But now with this dark cloud hanging over their season, I just don't. This is what crumbles teams, and this is just what takes your season off the train rails. So it's going to be a very hard situation to recover from. Maybe they'll do their best. Maybe they sneak into a wild card. I doubt it. But I think the way Mark Davis is he's a very impulsive owner. He's going to pull the shock move. And like I just said before, I really would not be surprised if they, mortgaged their future and went and traded for Rodgers or Russell Wilson next year, just to like move the image off of this situation.
100%, 100%. I couldn't agree with you. I was just looking at that because like this now just like puts a big stain on just like the season. I know stain's like the word of the day. This just puts a stain on their season for like going forward because I want to pull up their schedule because I was even saying to myself earlier today, I was like, you know what? They had a Thanksgiving matchup against the Cowboys, which I'm like, yo, that doesn't look like exactly a bad game. Now, can they recover from this? Yes, but for right now, we'll have to wait and see for them. But I'm just give me a second, folks. Like I said, yeah, next week they go to Denver, then they play the Eagles, then they have a bye, then they got the Giants, the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, the Bengals, and then the Cowboys, and then that basically is the rest of their October and November. So they have some winnable games in there. It's just a matter now too who's going to coach the team and what's going to happen because like you have to look at this from a football standpoint too, where it's not only hey did they had a coach have to resign, but at the same time too who's going to take over. And also I think this could save Mike Mayock in a sense because I feel like if they admit it's the playoffs, I feel like Mayock would have been the scapegoat and they would have got rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at the Raiders, they're lucky to be 3-2. I think they should have lost that week 1 game, but you give them the win. They won the game, after that, all those blunders and stuff like that. But, they're a 3-2 football team. It wouldn't shock me for them to lose to Denver. That's, whatever. Denver's not doing too hot either right now, but, we'll see. But if they lose to the Eagles and they end up at 3-4, I think this season's going to spiral out of control, personally.
No, exactly. I agree with you on that one. But just moving gears now from this whole thing to what happened yesterday. I know it's a little impromptu or whatever, but I feel like we talked about it enough and we can't really say. There's not much more to say. Look, it is what it is. The emails are not language that's accepted in today's world, and that's just the nature of things. But when you were saying teams that you were like, I didn't believe them at 3-0. One other one I got for you, man, is the Denver Broncos. Because if you look at it, 3-0, obviously they beat you guys, they beat the Giants, and then they beat the Jags, 0-9 at the time. And then now 3-2. So for them, I'm just like, that's a team whose season is, I think, slowly spiraling.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was buying stock in them early. I really did believe in that defense to be like a legit top 5 defense. But, Fangio's quickly, losing all momentum that they picked up at 3-0. And the quarterback situation, although it's not terrible, it's not Drew Lock. It's still like Teddy Bridgewater is so limited. Like, he's such a game manager, and if the defense isn't playing up to a top 5 level, I don't know if they're able to stay in games with the amount of points they're going to score each week. They have all the talent in the world. Like I always said, they're just missing that quarterback that will bring them to the next level.
Exactly. That was the thing I was always saying too. Like, could they get in? I feel like they're going to try to get it this offseason because Drew Lock ain't it. We saw that when Teddy Bridgewater went down, and then for this week, I feel like it was a bit of a trap for them the Steelers, in the sense of where it's like, look, the Steelers eventually had to get off the snide after starting the season 1-0 and then obviously losing 3 in a row. I feel like there was a game for them to bounce back. This was the one, but for them, I always said this: if they went 3-2 in the month of October, I'd buy stock. The fact that they're 0-2 right now, if they go lose one more game, which they do have Cleveland and I believe the Cleveland football team and the Raiders, is that a Michael Pittman? That is a Michael Pittman touchdown. I'm sorry.
Yep. Flag's good. No, we're good.
Okay, okay. First Michael Pittman touchdown of the season. You guys got to remember, this is a Michael Pittman stand podcast. The fact that we got to do this during the pod, oh my God.
Let's see if he's down. No, he's good.
What was the penalty?
Maybe. He might be. I don't know. I don't think you can overturn it.
Dude, if that was roughing the passer, what was the penalty? I have it on mute.
No, it was PI on the defense, but I thought his knee might have been down. But no, he's good. They're upholding it.
Oh no, he's good. Let's see this. Oh, he's crossed. Oh wait,
Yeah, you could see it, but no, they gave it to him.
Yeah, I didn't remember this from the Detroit game. Yeah, your feed's ahead of me. Remember, folks, Michael Pittman stand podcast here, and that's his first touchdown.
I traded him last week too, bro.
I held on to him, and let's see this. I got to go to my Yahoo app. I was getting the red zone notifications, and there it is. Michael Pittman, fifth. Man, he's having a good game. 5 receptions, 68 yards for the touchdown.
Yeah, that one gave more his yardage right there for sure, though.
Yeah.
Good for him, man. Good for him. He needed that.
And also in other news, I think the Rays just tied the ALDS against the Red Sox.
Good shit. Let's go Rays. Hate them both. Do not want to see the Red Sox go any further than they already are.
It's like the lesser of two evils. I'm just rooting for an NL team at this point, to be honest.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Astros, Red Sox, ALCS, man. Oh my God, that would be so bad.
I wouldn't mind a Sox one. I feel like that'd be kind of awesome. Where it's like here's the 2 Sox to go to the World Series. Just because it's a funny pun, that's all. Even though I feel like we're gonna get Atlanta and then either or the Giants or Dodgers. I don't really care. I feel like whoever wins, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but moving back to the NFL, this pains me to do, but I got to give props, man. The Buffalo Bills are like they're a legit team. They're like there's no more like, hey, are we sure about them? Not like if you're still doubting the Bills, I'm gonna say this right now. Just please stop. And also, man, I got some stuff to say about Kansas City after, but man, I got to give props that we're due, man. Buffalo played a great game last night, and also too, Danny and I were talking about this on Twitter, man. Dawson Knox waiver wire pickup of the season.
Yeah, Dawson Knox is a top 5 tight end right now for sure. It kills me because Buffalo is probably the team I hate the least in the division. It's just I hate their fans. I cannot stand those fans, man. But as far as their football team, yeah, they're damn good. They're damn good. It's still early. It is still early. I'm pretty sure didn't the Ravens beat the Chiefs early last year as well? If I'm not wrong.
The Chiefs killed the Ravens on Monday Night Football.
Who did they lose to? The Chiefs last year. That was a good team that had potential.
They lost to the Raiders.
No, I never believed in the Raiders. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's still early. But yeah, no, damn, Buffalo looks damn good, man. Very, very good. They're legit. They're a legit contender. Zach Moss looks a lot better. So if they have a legit running game to go along with, Rousseau, who's a fucking stud pass rusher that they added, they have a chance.
Rousseau is what they needed. They needed edge they needed an edge rusher after the last season. I said that's the one weak spot on their team. And Rousseau's doing his job. But even like I know it pains me to say it like too, like the Bills, like yeah, like I respect the team. There's a couple fans that look like I'm cool with, but like at the same time too, yeah, I can't like there's like teams where I'm just like look, they're at like my top of the list that for me not liking just because like as I had that bad experience there. And also, 13 missed point PATs this week. That's insane.
Unbelievable.
But yeah. But what was I gonna say next? But no, like, dude, after last night, like, I'm gonna say this right now too. Dude, the Kansas City Chiefs. This might be a hot take. I can't see them going to the Super Bowl, man. They've had all but one game where they've allowed more than 30 points. I'm sorry, like, I feel like the Chiefs this year are. Well, I'm not saying they're like the same team, but they're like the Dallas Cowboys before Dak got hurt last year. You know, where if Dak and the offense do enough to win, they're going to win games. But then the defense has to like if the defense slacks and the offense has an off day, they're going to lose. That's what I'm trying to get at with this Chiefs team.
Yeah, as of right now, yeah, I still think they do something at the trade deadline. Honestly, I think they'll if there's a star guy on the deadline, I think this is the year they'll give up a first round pick and get that guy. But it's still early, like I said, man. I'm not writing the Chiefs off in week 5 at all. Their defense doesn't look good early, but I think it gets cleaned up. It's only up from here, honestly. And I mean, if Gilmore would have hit the open market, he would have been a Chief today. So thank God you guys traded him to the Panthers instead of letting him pick a team to go to.
Yeah, we got something. We got something. I'll get into that in a little bit. But I'm not writing off the Chiefs right now. I'm just saying, like, look, they're 1-4 against the spread. Like, I'm in a spread pool with my dad. He does, and I've told him every single week, do not pick. The only week I told him to pick the Chiefs to cover, I think, was the Ravens game and the Eagles game because I was like, look, they'll beat the Eagles. But week 1, I picked the Browns to cover. Week 3, I picked the Chargers to cover. Yesterday, I picked the Bills to cover. And also, I had Bills money line. I thought the Bills were going to win that game because this season's been a lot about teams getting the monkeys off their back. Like we saw it, the Ravens beating the Chiefs. And then we saw the Bills, and we saw the Cardinals and the Rams. And then the next one I still think is if the Browns have to beat the Ravens at some point if they truly want to win the division. But no, you're right. Like the Chiefs are going to figure it out. It's just when you're letting up 30 plus points a game, it's just tough for me to think, look, that this team can go all the way. They'll find a way and they'll be there in January. I'm not saying they're a write-off team. I'm not saying they're going to be this bad team. Like next week, they have the football team. I fully expect them to bounce back and win. But when I know they still have to play like the Cowboys, the Cowboys and the Packers at some points this season, they still have to play the AFC West, which who knows at this rate with like the Raiders and the Broncos because they almost beat them last year, and that was with worse teams. It's just they're going to have to find tricky ways to go on a roll, which, look, I honestly don't doubt that they'll do. I'm just saying I think Chiefs fans are starting to realize, look, it's not always sunshine and rainbows.
No, of course. And it's very hard to get to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row, man. That's I don't even have you guys even ever done that?
No, we did 3 and 4 years, and then we did. Oh wait, we did 3 years. We did 3 years. We did 2016 where we beat Atlanta. 2017 we lost the Eagles, and then 2018 where we beat the Rams. So we did 3 years in a row, but we did win-loss.
But in that whole time period where you guys were going, look how hard it was to go back 3 years in a row. So like it's it's not a guarantee for sure. But like I said, I want to see the deadline first. I want to see what happens in November, December, and then I think we'll have a better opinion. But if it comes down to that rematch in the AFC Championship, like we just saw last night, the Bills just proved they can go to Arrowhead and they can win, and that's a very hard thing to do. So, they definitely built momentum.
And also too, that if they meet up again in January, that game is in Buffalo, so that changes things huge. Like I know Danny and I said we're not a fan of Bills Mafia, but we know that look, Bills Mafia brings a different element, and that changes things completely for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. As Hollywood Brown, it's hard to win in Buffalo in January, man.
100%. As Hollywood Brown actually makes a catch for once in his life. But no, moving on now. One other game. I know you slept during the 4:00 hour, but man, I already got to say a good game of the year candidate, LA versus Cleveland. Another game. I tweeted this out. I'm like, we have to see this again in January.
Yeah, no, I caught up on I watched all the highlights, I didn't really miss anything. But Justin Herbert, man, holy shit. Man, I know Big Rat's take is everyone loved Tua, blah blah blah, but Stephen Ross originally wanted Tua. I mean, not Tua, wanted Herbert, and they went the other direction. So he's got to be killing himself right now for that. That kid looks like a bona fide stud, bro.
Him
The
and
Chargers
Williams
are
is so
legit,
fun
man.
to watch.
The Chargers are legit. I can see them being in the position Buffalo was last year, possibly getting into the championship game, but losing. They're just firing on all cylinders right now. I mean, their defense gave up a shitload of points, yeah, but they can sustain with anyone, as far as scoring points.
I mean, the fact that their game was very back and forth, it's not like, that the Browns went up huge early and then the Chargers had them out this comeback. The fact that it was basically a chess match where it was like you and I playing Madden on easy mode.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it was like that, I think, just shows that, look, I know that they gave up a lot of points, but at the same time, too, when you have shootouts like that in the NFL, and then I thought it was going to come down to the missed kick when Vizcanzo missed that kick to make it 42-41, and then the Browns couldn't convert and then got the touchdown. I'm like, all right, Browns point and a half. I'll own up to it, too. I had that really bad tweet exchange where I got my plus and minuses mixed up with the betting line, folks. I know. I got called out for that.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Yeah. I meant to say plus 3.5 for the Jets. But no, this was a game where, look, both teams kind of showed that they can hang. I feel like, and also I'll say this too, which because it kind of applies to the Chiefs, because it was going back to the Patriots earlier. In 2018, we lost to the Lions on Sunday Night Football in a game I was embarrassed about, and then in December we had that miracle in Miami happen, which just was I still say it's a stain. I know Big Rat's probably smiling hearing me say that, but I say this: all teams have to go through adversity. I'm just saying, if the Kansas City Chiefs go on a roll all of a sudden, we'll look at this as it's their time. But that's just another note for another day. That's why I add that. But no, as it goes to these teams, look, both teams are good. Herbert I've seen people say, like, okay, I don't buy the hype into the Chargers, like, back in August. I was like, no, I always said this team was going to be a playoff team in 2021 if they're healthy. Because, like, look, they have Derwin James back, who's a dog in the secondary. Joey Bosa is playing great defensively. They have some pretty good linebackers. And also, too, man, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams all look great. And also, too, man, Jared Cook's looking really good at tight end.
Yeah, Mike Williams is the guy, man. This guy, he was drafted to be this, and he's finally living up to what he's been drafted to do, probably and some. Like, ridiculous games. I know he didn't really do much last week, but, every other game he's been just a stud, bro. So I think that's the X factor with the Chargers. Eckler looks awesome as well. And like you said, yeah, Jared Cook is a nice find for them. He's been around forever, but he's really having probably one of his best seasons there too. So they're a very, it's a pick your poison team, and those teams are very hard to stop and beat.
No, exactly. And the one other thing I wanted to say, I'm just going to move gears here. Question I have for you: Arizona Cardinals, contender or pretender?
I'm going to say,
Danny, I hate to cut you off, but it's I just see it on the TV right now. Raiders assistant coach Rich Bacassia is expected to replace John Gruden as the interim coach per Suzy Kolber. So that's just something I want. That's just
Miguel wanted Tom Cable. That's crazy. As far as the Cardinals, I think the NFC is a lot more open this year than people think. So I'm gonna say contender. As of today.
Sorry, folks. I'm in the same boat. I always said the Cardinals were going to be that team. I thought personally, I have the Rams still winning the division. I think at the end of the day, the Rams are still a better complete team. The Cardinals, who losing Max Williams, I don't know if he saw his knee. His knee just bent away where you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's not supposed to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they look good, man. DeAndre Hopkins still a baller. James Conner's having a huge bounce back year for them at running back. Their defense is finally figuring things out. I feel like the Cardinals, they know what they have to do, but at the same time, too, the fact that they're not putting this enormous pressure on them, they're just going out there and playing. And I still have Kyler in the MVP conversation, but if you had to ask me right now for two, I have to say Kyler and Herbert.
Yeah, it's close right now. It's definitely close. But no, also Rondale Moore, the receiver they drafted in the second round, has been a complete stud.
Great touchdown yesterday.
Yeah, been a complete stud for them as well. If they're another team, man, if they can just continue to put up points the way they're doing. I know yesterday Kyler didn't have his greatest game, but he's still a stud. if they continue to, have shootouts, I think I'm gonna bet on them to win that shootout. So I think they definitely have a chance this year in the NFC.
Look for one this coming Sunday as they go to Cleveland to play the Browns. That's a sneaky good game in the 4 o'clock window.
The Browns need that game too.
Yeah, the Browns need the game, and then also too week 8 Thursday night football, Cardinals and Packers.
Wow,
so
that's a good one too. Yeah.
I was also saying this too, and I'm going to get to this. We're going to go to this team next. So this coming Sunday, it is the Seahawks and the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Man, if I'm the NFL, I don't know how you don't flex out for Browns Cardinals. You because I'm looking at that Steelers Seahawks game, and for the first time this year, I see a primetime game, and I'm like, yo, I have no desire to watch this. I know we had Panthers, Texans, and then Jags and Bengals, but at least those are the ones where they're like, look, hey, they could be a little bit exciting. This one, I just have no desire for, especially with Wilson being out.
Yeah, no, I mean they dropped the ball week 1 with Sunday Night Football. This is another one. I'm tired of seeing the Steelers in primetime games, man. They're an old team. We all know that. They're not special anymore. They're boring. And no Russell Wilson on the Seahawks. No one wants to see Geno Smith on Sunday night. So they got to figure out a way, in these early season Sunday night games how to flex them out. Because they're only hurting themselves with the ratings.
I'm pretty sure we're in the flex period now. I believe it was week 5 to I'm pretty sure it started either week 5 or week 6. So they gotta look at it and have potential backups for hey, what can happen if this and this happens? I'm still saying that right now. For the Cardinals, look, put that Cardinals Browns game in the in Sunday Night Football, because look, that's a game that's going to get eyeballs because everyone's going to want to see what Baker and Kyler do. Because I fully expect that game to be a shootout, but at the same time, too, Steelers, Seahawks could be sneaky good, but it's like Danny and I both said, man, Seahawks ain't making the playoffs this year, and I think our point's being proven a little bit further, unfortunately. I only say that because of the injury. You don't want them to go down in injury, but if you look at that, let's just look at that Seahawks for a second, because I saw the tweet today from Austin Gale of Pro Football Focus, former guest of YWC Football Talk, and I saw you retweet it about how you have their 2022 first-round pick, Elijah Vera Tucker, grading pretty well so far for pass protection.
Top rookie grade of the year so far.
Looking pretty good, because that's the other thing I'll say about the Chargers too is Rashawn Slater has looked really good this year, but Vera Tucker, man, a lot of these rookie offensive linemen are getting the work done, except for Alex Leatherwood. But oh man, I just had to take that dig. I still despise that draft pick at every chance I get. But no, with the Seahawks, it's just bad luck. But at the same time, too, you're probably smiling ear to ear because you're like, look, just get us that pick.
Oh, Lamar, come on!
All right, I'm behind, but I can't wait to see what happens. I don't mind. I still remember the Christmas episode last year when you were ahead of the Big Rat.
Big Rat, yeah.
He was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had fantasy 6th line. Yo, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, very bad, very bad. John Harbaugh's face is hilarious.
Man, I had the
Colts aren't dead yet, man.
I had the Ravens to cover.
Oh no. Yeah, no. What was the question again, bro?
With man, you got to be smiling about this whole Seahawks situation because they're now out in the NFC West.
I said it, man. I said it. I said, the dark cloud is over the Seattle Seahawks this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Russ got hurt. I'm pretty sure I came on here and said that. They've been ignoring O-line for so long, even though the O-line, it was a freak injury. But, Geno Smith was a hot shot last week. Obviously teams weren't prepared for him to come in and do what he did. But now that they start, scheming for him and game planning for him and see what he really is, he's not going to really do anything. I don't believe. He could prove me wrong, maybe. But, no, so I expect them to lose most of those games that Geno plays, and then Russ is going to come back. And unless he has a historic or a heroic, crazy run and their defense magically gets fixed overnight and they learn how to stop teams and Jamal Adams actually plays like someone who's worth 2 first-rounders and a 3rd rounder, for your team to trade for because they thought he was the final piece in their team. I think you can safely write off the Seahawks. And I know it's early. I know it's week 5, but, they're going to take – how long is Russ out? It's 4 to 6 weeks or whatever. So say he's out 6 weeks. they go, we'll say 2-4. That's what is that? 7 losses almost already.
2-4 would take them to 4-7. So they
Yeah, so
basically would
so
have
so
to
Russ
win out.
Russ would have to run the table. Probably not happening. So yeah, man, get me in the top 10. With that draft pick, I'm all for that.
Because if you look at their schedule coming up, they go to the Steelers, then they play the Saints on Monday Night Football, then they go to Jacksonville. That's probably a dub. But then after their bye week, they play the Packers and the Cardinals and the football team.
Yeah.
That's November stretch. If Russ isn't back or not playing well, that could easily be 0-3. Like, I'm sorry to do this, Alex Larson, but stuff ain't looking good for the 12s.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to focus now on your game yesterday. I know obviously you guys lost. I had you guys on the spread plus 3.5. What did you see from the game and everything? And also too, I'm going to say this right now, man. Franklin Myers, well-deserved payday.
Yeah. Very slept on player in the league. I know I was arguing with a couple people on Twitter. It was like, who's that? Blah blah. Like it's not nobody else's fault but yourself for being a casual and not knowing. Franklin Myers is a stud. Thank God Sean McVay. I don't know what the hell Sean McVay was doing when he cut him. I guess they tried to sneak him onto the practice squad, but JD claimed him. He was out for that first year, and then last year he was balling, and then this year, he's on pace for double-digit sacks. So very, very smart move to lock him up early because the price tag after the season would have been a lot more. And God forbid it does fail. You have an out in the contract after the second year. So and that's one of the perks of not paying Sam Darnold. You can retain your team and you're able to pay your guys, because if you're giving Sam Darnold, who looked awful by the way, yesterday, if you pay him his 30 to 40 mil, you're not able to make moves like this. So, very good move by JD to lock him up. But as far as the game yesterday, it's just, I think, unless our defense, the way the offense has been coming out, in these first halves is ridiculous, man. You got to get this shit cleaned up by the bye week. We have I think it's a total of 9 first half points the whole season, which is ridiculous. But they're a completely different team in the second half. So if they start piecing this shit together, man, and they play like the way they're playing in the second half, they're gonna, be able to win some football games. But like I said, they're the youngest team in the NFL. I keep saying it. I'm not expecting a lot of wins. I just want to see progression from Zach Wilson and the players on the team that actually are going to be here in the future. But I don't know if it was the London part. I don't know what it was, but that they just it seemed like they didn't get off the plane in the first half, and that was it. And they couldn't recover from that, because if the defense got the stop there at the end and or at least just held them to a field goal, we would have had a chance. But the defense couldn't stop anything all day. So I just chalk it up as a loss. The Falcons were the better team, and we go into the bye. We try to fix what's clearly wrong on the team. And we go to Gillette and we see what happens. If I don't care about the winner or the loss in Gillette. I just care like Zach Wilson can't come out and throw 4 picks like he did week 2 against you guys.
No, exactly. And also, I'm looking on the replay right here. It looks like the ball just comes out as his knees hitting the ground. So I think the touchdown's going to stand. But no, I agree with you. Like with you guys, it's one of those things where it's just, look, you got to show progression. You got to show stuff. Saleh's a very interesting coach. I feel like he plays it safe, like at first, but then when he has to like get it going, that's when he gets kind of reckless. So I feel like sometimes you have to do that. Like, I'm not saying reckless in the sense of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Reckless in the sense of you do go out there and do stupid things, but reckless in the sense of like, do something not reckless, unconventional.
Yeah, no, and I don't really know if he's not playing call playing, but Ulbrich he's just being predictable, man. Like the way you beat our team is through screens, because we're bringing pressure to your face every time. And if the pressure doesn't get there, people are open in the secondary, and it's easy completions. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen 3rd and plus, 10 plus, get converted this year already, and it's so frustrating, man. Like they just drop, they rush 5 or more every time, and if the pressure doesn't get there, like it's a completion, it's a first down. and you shoot yourself in the foot. But we still haven't even had an interception. We're the only team without an interception this whole year. So I mean, I don't know, man. We got to see progression. I think Saleh needs to stop being Mr. Nice Guy, because that shit's gonna wear out thin. I mean, I know the win last week, which was awesome, helped out a lot for the morale of this team. But I feel like you just gave back all that momentum with this loss. Jet fans are so irrational, and they're just going crazy, and they have all these fucking hot takes. And last week they were talking like, oh, this is how we get to the playoffs. So very bipolar fan base. I know that, but like I said, man, you have this bye week to self-evaluate, try to get better. And if you come back with the same shit, it's a real problem, in my opinion. Very real problem.
Yeah, you're right. Like, look, week 2, like Wilson, I feel like Wilson, he was making rookie mistakes to where I even I noticed it with yesterday. Davis Mills. I noticed it with Mills, which we'll talk about that. I got a lot to say. Where you do something to where I'm like, only a rookie quarterback would do that. And what Wilson did week 2 is he did a lot of panic where he didn't throw the ball. He just chucked it up in the air to get rid of it. When in reality, you got to learn either look. Just take the sack or get it out of bounds. Because if you do that, you're going to preserve it. Meanwhile, if you don't, that's when you make silly mistakes that, end up costing your team the victory, like what happened when the Patriots went to MetLife and beat the Jets 25-6.
Yeah, no, I mean, Wilson's playing a million miles per hour right now. He needs to just settle down, hit his easy throws. He's missing his easy throws. He's short arming them. I don't know if you saw anything from last night or yesterday morning, but there was a wide open screen pass. Yeah, wide open screen pass. 2 of them actually, but the one I'm talking about literally just floats the ball and hits it in the O-lineman's helmet. Like, there was room there to run. Probably could have got in and made potentially scored, but he just needs to settle down, man. He's got happy feet right now. He wants to go for the kill, and you just gotta take what the defense gives you and make the throw, man. The O-line isn't an excuse anymore. The O-line's been playing very well, compared to week 1, week 2. But like I said, man, all I could say is self-evaluate and let's see what happens week 7.
They have been playing well. The other guy who's been playing really well for you guys the last couple of weeks is Corey Davis.
Corey had a good game last week, but I've been pretty disappointed with him, man. He's not helping Zach out. Like, there's been a couple of really bad drops where we paid you to be the number 1 guy. You want to be the number 1 guy. You think you're the number 1 guy, and you're just not making the play to be the number 1 guy. So if you're the reason why Denzel Mims, who is a fucking supreme talent in my opinion, can't see the field, you need to make every play. I'm not asking you to go and do an Odell Beckham, one-handed catch down the sideline. But if the shit hits your hands, you got to catch the ball, man. Got to catch the ball.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, from the sample size that I've seen from Corey Davis, he's looked okay. But
yeah, he hasn't been bad. Let's go, Jonathan Taylor. Thank you. But he hasn't been bad. It's just like Zach is so locked in on Corey right now, and he's hitting Corey, but Corey's just a lot of plays he's leaving out on the field. So but the guy I've been impressed with on offense is Michael Carter. I think he's gonna over the second half, I think he's gonna really start to make a little bit of noise. He just he's passing the eye test for me. Like, he's shifty, he's hard to get down, for a little guy too.
And I know you already said it, but Jonathan Taylor too, finally having the breakout game this year.
Yeah, I needed this, man. I needed this for sure.
Dude, everyone was calling him RB1. Like he was going top 10 in all fantasy drafts that I was a part of. So the fact he's finally, there's a lot of guys this week for fantasy who are finally showing their potential. Like him, obviously Herbert had a huge week. Eckler had a huge week. Mike Evans finally.
Oh, Carson Wentz.
Like they didn't get to.
No, you'll see.
Okay. All right. It's all good. I'm going to move on now and talk about my game, because for some really bizarre reason, my team, the Patriots, love to give me fucking heart palpitations in Houston. I don't know what it is. It's the second time we've called. Oh, yeah, that's not a good play.
Ugly.
And he missed the tackle too with yeah, that was not good. But it's still 19 points though. But yeah, if the Lamar Jackson gets something going, it's going to be a bad time. My thing with yesterday was, I was just so ready to come on here and just put the Patriots on blast completely, but they found a way to get something done. They found a way to go out there and get a win. Bill Belichick said in the post game in the locker room, all they needed was 30 minutes of football, and that's what they did. Mac Jones, man, I'll say this: I'm not expecting a lot this year. I thought maybe I know I predicted us to go to the playoffs. The kid can ball. The kid under pressure doesn't get phased. Sure, he had a couple of mistakes yesterday. He threw the pick. Davis Mills looked like a fucking top 5 pick yesterday, which just completely blew my mind. But at the same time, too, I feel like the Houston Texans, they got too comfortable when they were up 22-9, and then after there, they kind of took their foot off the gas, and then their defense kind of like stopped playing as intensely, and then also too, their offense, especially their line, took too many bad penalties on third down that were simple like holding or just hands to the face. I think it was mainly holding though, or false starts on third down that you simply cannot do in the NFL. If they had done that, they would have won. Also, the other thing I'll say too as well, Kyami Fairbairn, thank you for missing that extra point and I think 2 field goals, because if it weren't for those, the Patriots would have lost the game. So, you know what? At the end of the day, a win's a win, and I'll take it. But the only other thing I'll say too is besides Mac, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith are finally looking good. And, man, I'll still say this, though. The best signing the Patriots did this offseason, by far, Matthew Judon.
Yeah, I know you were stressing yesterday. I'm like, relax, bro. It's the Texans. You know, they're not winning this game.
Cautious optimism. Cautious optimism.
Yeah. But nah, man, I would be a little concerned if I'm a Patriot fan because, you know, like Davis Mills sucks. I'm sorry. That guy sucks. And for him to come out and put 300 on the Bill Belichick defense, I know you guys settled down and won the game, but that's like, damn, bro, that can't happen. But like I said, you know, obviously you have the better coach. You know, you guys found the way to win. But you know, like I wouldn't be hyping up this win like, oh, you know, Patriots are back, all this stuff. But you know, I expect you guys to blow them out. And I picked y'all in Survivor, and I was gonna be very, very, very upset if you guys lost that game. So not That's really much to say about it.
Why I was angry.
Yeah.
But it was survival too. And I got a strike last week. Thank you very much, New York Giants.
Dumbass Texans again. You know, teams like that, like they hit the rough in the passer penalty on Mac, where he clearly threw a pick, where the guy dropped a fucking punt, give me pick in the you know, in the ice, in another ice drive. So I mean, we'll see. I still want to see Mac a little bit more before we call him the man. But yeah, definitely needed to win that game 100%.
I by no means am calling him the man. I'm just saying that also too. I flipped over from baseball to I flipped to baseball because it is currently 5-5 in the bottom of the 9th for the Sox. I'm not saying when I say like he's living up to it. I'm just saying there is potential there. What I see on a Mac right now is kind of similar to like, you know, Josh Allen in like 2018, 2019, where we were like, look, the signs are there, but he's still working it out. I'm not coming out here and saying, you know what, yesterday was fantastic. No, like a win's a win, an ugly win. I remember 2013, there was a game against the Cleveland Browns. We should have lost. But it's just the fact that they found a way to win says a lot. Now, I'm not coming on here and saying we're back and everything. No, I fully expect us to lose this Sunday to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are simply a better team. But if the Patriots can manage to get it done against the teams that they're supposed to beat, and then, you know what, maybe steal a win here or there, maybe go 1-1 against the Bills this year, beat a team, because coming up, we have a really tough stretch where we have to go to LA, we play Carolina, we play Cleveland, we have Tennessee, we have Atlanta in there, but more than likely the Patriots should win that game. And then we also have the Colts late December after our bye, and also week 18 against Miami, because we all know New England and Miami is never exactly a cakewalk. So I'm just saying, if they can maybe sneak a couple wins here or there, maybe they can get something done. But for right now, look, I'm more focused on just looking at seeing what this team can do positively and how to build on it, because I think next year is the year people should be expecting the Patriots to, you know what, maybe contend for that wild card spot. I still feel like this year I had expectations of a wild card coming in. I think those are being tampered unless they surprise me.
Yeah. And then another thing that pissed me off yesterday with the Texans, man, you guys ran that streak route, that play action streak route over and over and over and over again. And the guy's wide open every time, man. Like, these teams need to adjust, bro. Like I literally saw you guys come back with the same route over and over again. But, you know, Give credit to Damian Harris. He balled out yesterday as well.
He got hurt, unfortunately, but yes, he did.
He did. So, I mean, we'll see down the stretch, man. We'll see down the stretch.
Also, I'll say this too: Ramondre Stevenson. He was in the doghouse week 1 after he had the horrible fumble. Because that's the only bad thing with the Patriots running back room too. JJ Taylor had a fumble against the Buccaneers. Stevenson week 1. Harris now has 2 on the year. If they can get their fumbling problem solved, they'll be fine. But Ramondre Stevenson looks like a little mini LeGarrette Blount to me, where he's just going to go in. He's just going to truck you. He's going to go in there and, you know what, use his body, like just clamp down and get a few extra yards in. But no, with the Patriots, like I said, they for some reason they managed to. I feel like it's like when you overthink something and then you think about it logically and then you just get it right. Like that was the Patriots yesterday with Houston. I don't know what Lovie Smith did to change it up and everything. And also too, throughout the whole game, their OC just looked stressed the entire time. Like he was like crouching down. He was like worrying.
The Texans.
The Texans guy, Tim Kelly. The only thing I'll give them props for, which really pissed me off, was going for it on 4th down so much during the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, they're a bad football team. Bad football teams find ways to lose games, you know. Any other team, I'm sure, maybe except for the Lions, would have found a way to close that one out. But, you know, the Texans are going to Texan.
Exactly. The Texans are going to Texan. And that's my whole point about the Patriots. It's just like, look, they found a way. It was really ugly. Like, that's not a game you're proud of. But at the same time, too, look, a dub's a dub no matter how you can take it.
Yeah, you take the win. But I'm just saying don't be too high about the win. You know?
I'm not. Believe me, I'm not.
But yeah.
That's what it was. The only other thing I'll say here too about some other teams, let me just look at some other games quickly because there's not a whole lot of other news. Oh, yeah, one other thing I'll say is, man, I feel bad for Detroit Lions fans. That's twice in 3 weeks that you have that happen to you.
Yeah, man. My man's on the podium fucking crying about it, bro. Like, come on. Dude, it's week 5. It's week 5. I know you want to win bad. You're gonna get it, but come on, man. Don't come out there and cry to everyone about that.
They're gonna come out.
People are praising him for it. People are feeling so bad for them. Like, come on, man. It's a grown man's league. It's a grown man's sport.
They have the Bengals, the Rams, and then the Eagles. I look at that Eagles game as the chance for them to win. I know Bobby's coming on here in a few days, but if I see a game, because it's going to be that game like you guys against the Titans. I had a feeling that you guys were going to beat the Titans when I saw that Julio and AJ were out. I think
there's trap games all there. There's trap games, especially if the Eagles are winning at that point somehow. You know, like they're due for a trap game. They happen all the time in the NFL. So, I mean, I always said I've stuck to it. I thought the Lions were going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, but you know they're being competitive, and that's all you can really ask for.
They're hanging in there. The other note I want to make about yesterday, I think the Bengals, it's the same thing too. It sucks to lose a game like that, but they're, I think, a legit team. They're a team like now. I think they come back to earth. I think you know what they miss, but at the same time too, this is a season for them where they just have to build off things. The Bengals are right now where I see you guys in a couple of years. You know what? Maybe they steal a couple of games that they're not supposed to win, and then they kind of like, you know, September, October, they're that like nice surprise, but then they start to like kind of cool off as the season goes on.
Yeah, no, they had the win in the bag. They just missed the kick, you know.
The kicker didn't.
They're an up. I'm buying stock in the Bengals. They're an up and coming team. It would not shock me if they made the 7th wild card. It would not. You know, Jamar Chase is absolutely balling. You know, T. Higgins is back now. He's a stud too. Don't forget about T. Higgins. You also have Tyler Boyd, who's, you know, a security blanket. You know, Mixon was hurt. I think he played a little bit, and their defense, man, their defense is so improved. You know, that I was against signing Trey Hendrickson, but he's playing very, very well. So
Logan Wilson's another guy.
Yeah, I'm buying stock in the Bengals right now, man. I would not be shocked if they snuck away in at all.
Oh man, Sox with runners on the corners in the bottom of the 5th and the bottom of the 9th.
What is it? How many outs? What is it on 5s?
It's 2. It's 1 out. Tied at 5. Bottom of the 9th. Red Sox with the man on 1st and 3rd.
What channel is it on?
Fox Sports 1.
Fox Sports 1.
For me, it's different. For me, it's a channel called Sportsnet. But Oh yeah,
Yeah, I got it right here.
G-Man Choi misfielded the ball. I had to turn off the game because I saw like I can hear my parents downstairs watching the game, so I'm like, all right, something's got to be going on. But
Hmm.
folks, that's what it is. It's a football podcast, but we're watching baseball. The only other thing I'll say about yesterday is I think the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to be coming out here like the rest of the American media and saying, you know what, hey, crown this team now. But they're going to be there. They're going to be there in January. They're winning the East. I thought it was a
Yeah,
good
that's actually my hot take of the week, bro.
what?
I think they have a chance this year. I really
Yeah.
do. I think
I
they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year.
I fucking hate to admit that because there's no fan base I hate worse in the NFL than the Dallas Cowboys fans.
Yeah, man, that Trayvon Diggs is absolutely balling. Their offense is just firing on all cylinders. I think they got a legit chance to I still want to see them beat a couple teams, but they're a legit team right now for sure.
Them versus the Chiefs right before Thanksgiving is going to be like a fucking Big 12 shootout. No matter what the over is, you hammer that over. It's going to be like what happened yesterday in LA.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got
I mean, but they can hang with anyone, bro.
you know what? They honestly can. As did the runner go to? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the runner did for Boston, but I got to look at their schedule coming up because obviously, like I said, I don't expect the Patriots to beat them. But then they got their bye, and then they go Vikings, Broncos, Falcons. Okay, it's a little easy. That Chiefs, Raiders, Saints stretch from basically that's 3 games in less than about 3 games in 11 days. They come out of that 3-0. Then I'll be starting to say we'll see you in LA. But until then, they like you said, I think they got to beat a dog because the only dog they faced this year so far, they did beat LA. They hung in tough with Tampa, which I think they lost that themselves. When it was a minute 24, I was just like, you gave Brady way too much time to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
But
they played them very well though.
they did. My other hot take too is I still feel like there's a way the Steelers find a way to sneak in the playoffs. I just they're gonna be that team that you know what they fuck with you on like the spread or money line because the 2 times I bet against them this year, both times they won. So I have to stop betting against the Steelers. I picked Bills money line week 1 and I picked the Broncos to cover 2.5 yesterday. Both did not hit.
Yeah, I don't know about them getting into the wild card, but yeah,
But
they're definitely not like in the very bad level, but they're like below average to me. They're like a team that's going to pick from anywhere from like 8 to like 12, 13, something like that.
they're not good enough to contend for a Super Bowl, but they're not bad enough to be a top 10 pick. They're in that. I'm going to say the same thing too. That because Austin Gale said this before on his podcast, and like I said, former guest of this show. They're in that football purgatory that no team wants to be in, and also too losing Juju Smith-Schuster hurts a lot. Which for him, I feel bad. I know we like to come and kind of cut the guy up for his TikTok stuff, but at the same time too, man, that sucks going out for the season in a contract here.
In the contract year, yeah. Yeah, man.
The Red Sox just fucking walked it off, didn't they? No.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, that the Red Sox are going to the ALCS.
Let's go Astros. I'd rather see the Astros than these motherfuckers.
I have like a mixed
and that
bag.
just makes the wild card game sting even more now.
Man, the Rays. I'm going to say this on a baseball note quickly. I'm going to go back to football, but the Rays. That is now 2 years in a row where like silliness has like fucked their season. Last year it was pulling Blake Snell. This year it was. What was it this year? This year it was that like silly little ball out that we thought was a home run, but was a ground rule double. Like man, the Rays are just cursed. Move that team to Montreal.
To Montreal.
What?
To Montreal. That's funny. Yeah.
No. Bring them up here. We need a second team.
Fuck it, bro. Yeah, but I was gonna also make a point. This tell me Trey Lance to you doesn't look like a clone of Colin Kaepernick. Literally a clone.
He does. I'm gonna say this right now. Out of the 5 quarterbacks, I put it Jones and then Fields for 1 and 2. I know it sounds a little biased, but I think those two have played the best so far. Lance looked okay yesterday, but that's the other thing too. I don't know if you've seen this. Lynch and Shanahan's record is 31 and 38 since they've gotten to San Francisco.
Yeah, I did see that. And that's how GMs get fired, bro.
I think the fact that they made a Super Bowl, though, kind of buys them a few years.
It does, but I just had to point it out that he just looks just like Colin Kaepernick to me.
He's that guy. Like that's another team too. Like, man, they're running trickery right now in the Colts. And Wentz throws it out of bounds. The only other thing I'm gonna like, man, the Niners are just a weird team where I feel like right now they're not ready to contend for a Super Bowl, but at the same time too, they could. They're that team you just don't know what to expect out of them on a week-to-week basis.
I want to see them finish at least, like with 9 wins and, above the Seahawks, obviously. For one reason, obviously, we have the Seahawks pick. For the other reason is that genius GM Chris Greer thought his team would be better than theirs, so he traded his first-round pick rather than the 49ers' first-round pick. So the Miami Dolphins will be drafting where the 49ers end up.
You know what? That's another team too, man. The Dolphins, I know they've been hurt, but man, I thought yesterday, I was like, you know what? Maybe the Dolphins upset the Bucs, but instead they got their asses kicked.
Yeah, Big Rat told me to take their spread. I'm like, hell no, bro. The defense has been a problem all year, man. I mean, if Tua is there or not, Tua is not that quarterback where he's gonna put up those kind of points on the board. He's just not. So I mean, we'll see next week when he's back. But if who are they playing this week?
I gotta take a look. I know the Bucs. We'll talk about the Bucs in a second because obviously they're the next game on the docket for the NFL. But which folks, Bobby and I will.
Miami plays Okay, they play Jacksonville. I'm
I'm
telling you right now, I got Jacksonville winning their second game or their first game?
Their first game.
Their first game. I blocked that in. Jags money line.
One spread here. I'm really tempted to take is Rams at 10.5. One I got for you. Do you take the Colts at 10 points against the Texans? Do you take the points or no?
Probably, but I wouldn't bet it.
Yeah, I like for my spread pool, I would take the Colts, but that's not gonna be on my best bets, which I'm gonna go into right now, Danny, because I had a sick 5-team parlay for college football on Saturday.
Alabama fucked you?
Yes. So I had this. I had Oklahoma versus Texas over 65.5 points. I had Michigan State money line hit against Rutgers. I had Georgia money line against Auburn hits. I had to sweat this out, but I had Michigan money line over Nebraska. And then I had Alabama money line.
Jeez.
I placed a $25 bet. I would have won $170.
Vegas cleaned the fuck up on parlays with Bama losing this week. Clean the fuck up, man. I saw there was the BR betting Twitter. Someone bet 500,000 on a 3-team parlay with all heavy favorites to win 100K, and he lost because of Alabama. Imagine that 500,000 to win 100,000.
See, that's what I do. I always say this. I always bet what I can afford to lose. I talked to Miguel about this on Saturday because he was asking me, and he also had a lock for me too that hit. I mentioned in my video that he had Hunter Renfrow, three receptions, 40+ yards. He hit it. He had 6 receptions,
easy
56.
Easy money.
The one
I was the only one in my league to pick the Bears this week, so I'm very proud of that one.
I took the Raiders to cover. I think it was only like about 5.5 points. I thought it was like a pretty simple cover. The one, too, that I should have bet, but I was kind of pissed I didn't. I didn't think about this until after you tweeted about it, was betting Tyson Fury to win Saturday night.
Oh my God. I was so drunk at the bar, man. I just found someone who had Wilder. He wanted to put money on Wilder. I'm like, I bet. I got Fury. That was a fun fight. That was an awesome fight, man.
You just love to see two heavyweights just clash, and it was awesome. But no, that's my story. So this Sunday, I'm like kind of tempted to take a break from NFL betting and bet college because, man, you fucking even the Michigan-Nebraska game, I had to sweat it out because Michigan goes up big, Nebraska comes back, takes the lead, Michigan then gets the job done. Like, fuck, man, just the ups and downs. Because here's the other thing too, man. College football is exciting, and then the only other thing I'll say is I had that over. I'm gonna say this: if you're betting an over, go Big 12 football every day of the week.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Easy overs.
Agree with that.
Before we wrap up here, I just want to talk to you about Thursday Night Football. Do you see a world where the Eagles upset the Buccaneers after these reports of Brady?
Hell no. You don't
see it like last year. Remember Thursday Night Football? Brady and the Bucs went into Chicago and lost to Nick Foles.
No, I don't see it at all. Nope. I think Bucks cover that.
I gotta see what the spread is on that. Because I don't think it's
Eagles had no business winning the game they did against the Panthers. If it wasn't for that block punt, it's a different game. But Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold again. People, stop buying in early. The guy has never had a clutch fucking game-winning drive in his life, and he panics when everything's not going perfect for him. AKA Christian McCaffrey's not bailing him out. So maybe he's not the quarterback that everyone thinks he is.
early bet of the week that I like. I like the over with the Chargers and the Ravens at 50.5 points. I like I'm taking the Vikings to beat the Panthers. I think the Panthers are kind of hitting a rough patch here. And yeah, you know what? Buccaneers Eagles, it's a 7-point spread. I'm taking the Bucks and the points.
Yeah.
It's
easily.
a 40.
Don't even think twice about it.
I will say
Unless,
this right now.
The only thing that's gonna fuck you is some garbage time backdoor cover with Jalen Hurts, but I think it's gonna be out of reach, and then it's the potential for garbage time is there to cover. But do you never buy a half a point?
No, I've never done that before too. No, I've heard about doing that where you can buy the half point.
Buy a half
I would
point,
consider
yeah.
buying. I'd consider buying either. I'd consider buying 6.5.
Yeah, that would be smart to do. I mean, the line might even move to 7.5. So if you're planning on betting that,
If the line
get
moves,
that in.
yeah, I'm gonna say this.
How do you bet? You bet online? You on a sportsbook app or something?
Yeah, it's called bet. So there's two. I have OLG, which is our province's lottery and gaming. It literally stands for Ontario Lottery and Gaming. They do a thing called Pro Line Plus, but I use an app called Bet99. So basically, I just go in there. Yeah, like I can use Interact Pay. I can use fucking Bitcoin if I had any. But
yeah.
so I just go in there and I do it. But the options for there, it's just the straight up like money line, spread, over, under. I got to figure out how to do the whole buying points, or even you were talking about like the pushing,
Yeah,
and like stuff like that. Like I'm still like, I know I come on here and I give weekly betting advice, and I also do it on TikTok and Instagram. But I'm still trying to get my feet wet. But I feel like eventually, once I hit a stride, I can or once I not hit a stride, but like once I hit like a certain system where I figure out what works, I feel like I'll just start constantly winning. It's just like I feel like it's one of those unfortunate things you got to keep up.
Yeah, you're
with
due, bro. You're definitely. Have you hit a parlay yet or no?
I hit one in the preseason. That was it, though. I hit one in the preseason.
Yeah, you're due, bro. You're definitely due.
I hit the Ravens because that was an easy one, but the one I was happy about was I hit Illinois to beat Nebraska early on in the season because I heard it on a podcast and I was like, you know what, I'll take it. Like this Saturday too. A&M fucked me, but I'm really liking them to win their game. It's just I'm looking. I may take the week off from NFL betting. I may just go college just because look, it's a little more exciting and then there's more games to choose from. But we'll wait and see because like Saturday night, I'm telling you, man, I was fucking broken. And like I was like I know it was only $25, but at the same time too, it was like you just sweat all this out. It's like when you're baseball and your team gets walked off for like game-winning touchdown. It's just like that deflating feeling where it's just like all that for nothing because like literally it started at noon that day and went to like almost 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my best money line underdog this week is the Jaguars, so keep an eye out on them.
You know what, I like it. I'm gonna give mine right now.
There's good value there.
I'm gonna give an early one too. The Ravens are pushing right now. Early one I like Minnesota at a point, and then another one I like. Give me the Cardinals because the Browns are favored by 2.5. I like the Cardinals there.
Yeah, I would take the Cards too.
Yeah, so the Cardinals and the Vikings are my early Week 6 betting favorites. But I don't know if I would bet the Jags, but I'd consider taking the points for them.
I honestly think they get the win, man. I mean, they've been competitive. They were up on the Cardinals and then they just shot themselves in the foot. I think they're going to be able to take it to Miami, and they should have beat the Bengals too, honestly, on that Thursday night game.
They should have. They honestly should have.
So I think that's the bet this week.
That is, and I you know what? I think that's the podcast for this week. It's been a fun one, Danny, to get you on here once again. I should get you on here more often on Mondays because the Patriots seem to win when you're on here.
I'll see you in January then if that's the case, or when they're out of it mathematically.
Oh, fuck off.
Anyway,
you know what? It's been a blast getting to talk to you once again. But we'll catch you folks later. And remember, folks, I'll be back here Friday. Bobby Gross making his return to YWC Football Talk. Have a good night,
Be
everyone.
gross. Wow.